Hey, this is Deb Coviello, Drop-In CEO, and I just want to welcome you to a new media series. We call it Drop-In CEO Live Talk Media, and I am graced with my guest, Michele Musso. So I just want to thank you so much for experimenting with me and going live here. So welcome to Live Talk Media.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Deb, for having me.
So we're going to work through this together, but that's the beauty of this media, and just taking risks on each other. I know Michele actually indirectly. She is a critical part of the production team of the Drop-In CEO, and we've gone back and forth and just talking about my content, and she's editing it, and thumbs up when she gets it posted. So she does fantastic work for me, but we haven't had a chance to connect. So Michele, maybe just tell me a little bit about your background, what you do, what you're passionate about, and how did you become connected with Mario, who is overseeing launching a podcast?
Oh, yeah, it's interesting. Life is just interesting, the connectivity, especially like today. You just shooting me a text. Hey, are you available during these COVID times? I'm like, I have to get ready. I have to do something with my hair. I have to put on a nice shirt. So it's interesting how we're navigating, especially the tech space or the visual space from home. Everyone's working, a lot of people working from home. So first of all, thank you so much, Deb, for inviting me on this and experimenting with me. A little bit about myself. I'm just a Italian girl from Jersey originally. Lived many years in Florida. I had a lot of interest in journalism and broadcasting, broadcast media back in the day, cutting reel to reel kind of things, those live days. And like in life, I tried different jobs and different genres and hospitality and court clerk and God knows what else. But my passion has always been in communication and relating to other people and connecting. And I always enjoyed that, and that visibility of getting into the action of getting to know someone else too and part of their journey. And I think a lot of like news and communication and media is that it's sharing everyone's experiences with each other, and I really enjoyed that aspect of it. So I got back into it in New York. I became a producer in New York City. I worked with a lot of interesting clients and high profile people. I learned a lot of stuff, and I found out that my true love too is in the tech space. I love tech. I mean, I kind of discovered it from failure. When something goes wrong, the mixer board fails, something happens, and there is nobody to talk to turn to, hey, can you rescue me? And it's kind of pushing buttons and discovering stuff and taking things apart and learning that aspect of it and falling in love with the tech space and inventions and apps and just communicating people together, getting people together, connecting. Also in communication process, I learned a lot in audio, how we speak, how we portray ourselves. That's what I do with your podcast as well. When I listen to the quality of the words that we're saying, how we're speaking, how we're relating to the other person, how we're creating imagery of ourselves in our show. And I learned a lot with that and tried to do my best. I feel like in COVID times, though, right now, slacked off a little bit on that kind of visibility. But to be made aware of our presentation of who we are and being genuine and having that visibility. And it's interesting because I met Mario when I was actually living in Maui, back and forth through this mutual connection. I was in somebody else talked to somebody who knew me in the podcasting and producing industry in New York. And they were looking for somebody to help them with this idea and this concept that they had. And it was basically, Facebook Live and getting groups together and marketing and connecting and doing all that work, because it's a lot of hard work, the audios, the video editing, making sure everything is proper, getting it on the proper platforms, going live. Yes. It's crazy. So that gentleman got my name and number from this young woman who has a great media company in New York, Genie Media. I'll give a little shout out to her. And he reached out to me, and he and I started working together, and he found Mario. And Mario and I, in a conversation where we were in a group, we kind of sidebarred and like, hey, how are you doing? What do you do? What do you do? And we had the similar interests: radio, talk radio, conversations, communications, connectivity, and we hit it off. And he's like, I have my podcasting company. And I also had my own previous to being, to getting involved in this stuff. I had my own podcasting company, developing entrepreneurs and clients and, interacting with people. And I was like, sure, I'll help you out. So I wound up working also for Mario in editing and being an editor, producer for his media company. So, and that's how we met. And so I got selected to help you out on your great podcast. And here we are. Isn't that remarkable?
And it's like you're basically in my own home turf. So my last name, Coviello. So married an Italian Irishman from New Jersey.
There you go, Jersey girl.
Yes. So, okay, but I'm no longer Cincinnati. I live in Cincinnati, but Jersey girl at heart. So we'll be talking pretty quickly. Tune in so you can understand our accent.
They'll pick it up wherever we go, wherever you go, they're going to pick it up.
So where in New Jersey are you from?
Well, Bergen County.
Okay,
Jersey, and also everyone, what exit. I have family in South Jersey, Tom's River, Hackensack, they're all over the place.
All right, I was 142 is where I grew up. Exit, New Providence, Union County area, Morris County.
Oh, Union County.
Yeah, but then I went to the Jersey Shore, so that was exit 91, right next to Tom's River.
Oh yes, that's especially coming from Bergen County, going down to the shore every weekend. On a Friday afternoon, you get cut out early and you drive down to the shore and exit, 91 or 99. You're going down there, 101.
Yeah.
Point Pleasant.
Yeah, we got a lot to catch up on, far beyond just this, 10 minutes we're going to chat here.
Sure.
But just curious, so thank you. So thank you, first of all, for doing great editing work on my podcast. The quality is great. Really appreciate you being part of my journey. I just love it. And I think I missed my calling. I love communications, put it aside for many years, and now you can't stop me. So, but just curious, when you listen to my podcast and you're editing it, I would love to know maybe, what is working? What do you see works well in it? And then based on maybe your experience, maybe a tip or something I should continue think about as I continue to evolve it episode after episode. What are your thoughts?
Well, first of all, you do a great episode. You make my job a lot easier. And I think it's very much in your awareness of speech. I have pet peeves, and pet peeves are the ands, the ums, and we all do it. We're all guilty of it. But when we turn that live button on and we're recording ourselves, how we present ourselves and how our speech is, you are very good when you're talking, and you do your consistent intro, which I think is branding, is really important. Your brand, you let your listeners know who you're talking to. I think that's really, really important. A little about them, and then you dive in to the conversation, and it feels like there's a flow even when you're talking to that person. It's not too much I need to remove or take out, because you're creating audible imagery, and we all know we have so much time to listen. Everyone has these podcasts, or you're walking to work, or you're being very active and you're plugging in a podcast and you're listening to it, and you want to create you want to get to the point. You want people to feel that imagery. You don't want it to be choppy. It wants to be conversational. And yet you want to remove all that unnecessary wording. The fillers that we naturally put in life that we don't need to say. The ands, the like, the repetitive stuff that happens. It happens. Right. But it doesn't need to be in a professional podcast when you're just trying to, you could lose the rhythm and the beat and the point that you're trying to make. So when you're doing your podcast, I find it very minor that I come into that kind of a contact or issue. So that's
anything
really
great. Consider changing, but maybe you've heard some really good podcasts that maybe I might want to think about including in my style.
You mean like other people, other podcasts? What do you mean?
Yeah, I mean, just is there anything that you've got a great base right now, so that's what I should continue to do. But is there anything that you say, if you just did this, they would really elevate it? Just curious if just a tip or two to bring this to a close.
One little thing is being a little more personable, like talking to your audience. Communicate. People love conversation. Okay. And I noticed one thing when you're talking, you have the other person online and they're talking to you. You introduce them already. And then you go and you say, you're talking to your audience directly. This is how we met. You can actually pivot that and talk to the person, your client, your client, but your guest. You can talk to them directly and say, this is how we met. Bring them into the conversation.
Subtle.
As if it's very subtle, and that little twist it helps bring your listener in, as if you're there, that person sitting right next to you, and you're having that conversation with them. It's more personable, and it's not less confusing, because I noticed if I hear that, who's she talking to? I have to stop and think about where you're going with this. All of a sudden, you just introduce this gentleman. Is there somebody else in the room? Is there something else you're talking to? Oh, wait a minute, she's talking to me. And then you're back in with the person. That little subtle change, I think, would make a great difference too, because it softens also your guest up as well, and they can feel more relaxed. Because a lot of people, they get nerves. The best of the best get nerves, Deb. They really do. It happens naturally, or they're just like, they want to get that comfortable feel. They're feeling you out as you're feeling them out. And that's that crucial little spot where you can make that connection with your guests, and I think it'll sound a lot better.
So this is why I wanted to talk to you. I so appreciate just that minor change. This is how we met, again, continue that intimacy of conversation.
Correct.
Talking to the audience. Absolutely. You'll hear that in coming episodes, and really, really appreciate this. Well, this is not the last time we're going to connect. I'm just so glad we had a conversation, and just bring it live and on the replay to our audience. Any last things you want to say, and we'll call it a day.
Keep up the good work. I mean, I really think that, especially in these times, it's impactful to have people talk about how you can better your life, how you can better your business, how you can better your marriage, you can it's all about self-reflection, I think, in this time of struggle that everyone's going through. I mean, there is an experience, and some things can't be compared to another person's struggle. However, we all need to elevate each other and come out better on the other side. And I really think that your guests and your topics are really crucial. And what you're doing here on LinkedIn, what you're doing across the board, is really impactful to other people, because they're going to hear it. Somebody's going to catch it, and you're going to change someone's mind that day. You're going to impact them. They're going to feel better, and we need to feel better. Anything to feel better right now and to better ourselves and our lives is a crucial thing, I think. So keep up the good work.
Awesome. Thank you, Michele. Continued success on the work you're doing.
Thank you
again for being part of the Drop-In CEO, and look forward to connecting some more. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.